Okay, welcome, gorgeous. Come in and take a seat. Join me in my energies and the frequencies of what is happening this moment of time. My name is Vicki Wallace. I am a quantum channel and multidimensional healer. Halakaten, and I speak light language. Partly it's to work with my team to help me correlate where I'm at between my ego self and my reading of the information and them clearing me from possibly picking up a wrong frequency, the frequency that doesn't need to be coming through in this transmission. So, tariki, talakai, tararoko, manala, hajikatiriki. So if I get a rhythm of light language coming in now, we're just diving straight in because the frequency today is at the 5th of May. Hajikite nanehiki is we're like rushing through a lot of to-do list jobs, procrastination, which is seen as procrastination, but procrastination really is just a perception of what we're working with. And it's a human term for us to do lots of things and getting busy or avoidance or clearing the way. So, with the energies that are coming through now, we're clearing the way for what we're preparing, our spirit is preparing us to receive in our human experience, and our human self labels it procrastination. Let's just see if we can bring through a different perspective of that for you today. So, settling into your body and your breath and feeling yourself settle into your seat. You've switched your phone off. I don't have any water handy, so we'll see where we go with that. I've been doing a lot of throat chakra work this week and expressing myself to others and clearing limitations with or belief systems or just, I suppose, storylines that are running within my own person with this cycle of energies. And so for me, it's speaking up to be the throat. And even though I say for me, it's speaking up to be the throat, it's actually quite universal. So we're all feeling the same vibrations and frequencies, but our human experience is interpreting it in a way that is personal to us, personal to our story and our environment and how we are living our human life. So if I'm having trouble with expressing myself or transitioning through like procrastination, let's just keep it like that, explaining it in that way, so are other people. And when I am a receiver of light and an empath and circulating such a vibrant vibration for others to navigate themselves around, which is a bringer of light, I don't always function my best. And if the cycle of energies is throwing me off, it's throwing off others around me that are relying on me to ground, and it takes me to separate to get over that. I need to do, I need to be, I need to perform this way of life so others can have what they need. It doesn't work like that. You have to separate yourself out of the picture for then that connection that's between you and the others to clear. Because if you're still in doing, you're interrupting. And the purpose of this interpretation of procrastination or to-do list or to be busy in all these other areas instead of what we need to do, that in itself is the piece of information because we're busy in clearing all these other things out of the way. So then we can do what we need to do, which we're calling in a bigger goal or a project or whatever it is that we're getting more clarity on a pathway. And then all of a sudden, all this distraction comes into it. That is a good thing. It's just our human procrastination labeling sort of handicaps us a little bit. I can feel, um, I guess, my team comedic today, and they're like holding me as sort of this tornado or storm like cyclone happening. And if they just hold my bodysuit still long enough, this little tantruming child tornado of me just like the bashes itself in all these other directions, and then eventually she settles. And my daughter Natasha had an experience of that yesterday. And if I just briefly interrupt this flow of conversation for you today. Natasha is an anchor and a crystalline caster. So she works with helping people find balance and harmony in their homes and businesses. She works as a direct connector to the frequency of the Earth's grid. And she's in this dimension and in the afterlife dimension as an anchor and clearing the frequency and balance between Earth and afterlife that are here to get that cares. So she does on-site consultations for the Wellington region. And with the energies that are happening now and our beings that we have a team of beings that we work with, there's one that has gone somewhere else for a while. And she is normally with Natasha when she does these clearings as like a protective barrier for going into homes. And because she wasn't with Natasha, another being came through. And so whenever we go to do something that is part of our routine, is part of our, say, if we're a bringer of light or a light worker, or you work with frequency of energy and you're used to having these energetic beings around you, and then one is not, and you're like, well, how can I do me? You have to recalibrate because you have everything you need. It's just your mind and your person and your habits are not familiar with navigating it differently in the moment. So even had a beautiful consultation. The people were lovely. When she got back in the car with me, and my role is just to hold it strong and just to hold the boundaries of us and her platform and knowing her team. We just held it, just held space until she did her little flip out and calmed back down into herself. And then later on, once the circuits had cleared, she's like, oh, thanks, Mum. I was having a a wee meltdown. But I know her team, I know the space. And that's what I was saying a bit before about we know how we are with other people around us that need us. So we always hold space, but sometimes we can't hold space because everything is shifting and we need to not be holding space, even though that was a circumstance of just helping my daughter as a mum, but also as a frequency holder, because that's what her and I do together quite well. Businesses work very well with each other and our teams flow differently with each other. Haerere tara kai tere ki. So letting go of our role with others and accepting maybe a different perspective to procrastination of stop saying procrastination. You're still doing stuff, you're still active. Just be, it's like catching yourself in the motion of what you're doing and then changing your mindset or changing your words that then change your perspective to it, that then opens up a little bit more ease and lightness to it, that you're not so much feeling like you're avoiding other things. You're just ticking stuff off that wasn't necessarily what you thought you would do, but it's still getting jobs done. My team, my beings, they are like holding me on my shoulders, like, just, okay, can we let her go? Can we let her go? She looks like she's just about getting it. No, she's not. She's lost the plot again. Let's come back in. So even though you may not be aware of your beings, they are there, that your team is there. You are source light, having a human experience in your person and your body. So you've got a team. Being a little lighter with yourself throughout it helps you to recognize them. Like, for instance, Natasha yesterday, allowing another being to come into your space to do a role where another one was doing, it helps you open up to new awarenesses, for one, new strengths, and not so much relying on one team member to do what that role is. So it gave Natasha the ability to recognize the strength in herself, that she was okay, that trust mum. I knew she was okay. She just didn't know it. And I can communicate with her team, and they were telling me she was okay. So she was okay. She just needed to freak out for a little bit and find that release. And that, what we did for that, techniques and abilities to calm. It's like being in the eye of the storm and being okay there. And there's that space that expands outwardly. But to get to that space, you've got to recognize that you're running around and losing the plot, and then catch yourself. It's stopping an ongoing action of, say, cyclone with your breath, with your physical body, and then the energies of your ego mind, your mindset, your storylines, that we run them long enough, they become energy and they become really formidable energy around you that when we are doubting ourselves or we're stepping into something new, we go through these freakouts because we're scared. And then all these other protective mechanisms, our mindset and our ego mind and so forth, come into to keep us on that because that's what we know. That's our default mechanism. But it doesn't have to be. There's always a little bit of light somewhere that you can try to calm to see. And then once you see the light of whatever that is, it takes you to be strong in yourself by not speaking if it's a confrontation with someone, by just really taking the time to prepare yourself at the beginning or the end of a day before you do what you're going to do or you're setting up your plan. Haere here ki te raka te raki te roko manene here ki. Na la 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 ha ke te rere ki. A lot of people notice signs, and that is a that can be a good thing. It also can be a major handicap because then we start looking for them as if this external, everything to do with us is always external to us. And that is not so. My Vicki, me, makes my decisions for the day. I'm guided by everything, but it's not always signs. Sometimes my heart space or my inner child or my sense of self needs to have those reminders. But if I'm always looking for a reminder, that's different from recognizing one when it pops up. It's a different flow and ownership of your own enlightenment and embodiment of self that is navigating then. Like the amount of times that we're on our cell phones is all the time. So it's not surprising we get 111 or 222 or 3, we're on the bloody phone all the time. So it's not surprising we get all these duplicative numbers. Bring it back into what is real. Bring it back into your ownership, your truth, which comes back to setting your day up with a practice in the morning of grounding your body, checking where your navigational inner polarities are, north, south, east, west. Check out where your masculine and feminine layers are, whether you're ahead of yourself with action or whether you're sitting in emotions or actively fright and flight or actively doing. There's so much that you can work with. But bringing it back into something basic is I go to my meditation room. I have my crystals there. I have my journal. I have me and my breath. I have plants. My mirrors are facing outside, so they're facing to the window. There's a lot more light. When I put mirrors on the wall, it makes the space bigger. I have pictures of me and Sacha. If you're new to me, Sacha is my 18-year-old daughter who would be 19 now, but she passed away February 23. I have pictures of her and Natasha together. Natasha's 24 this year, I think. Poor Bruce doesn't really. Poor Bruce. My family say that a lot. Poor Bruce. He doesn't have pictures of him in the room. Anyway, it's another story. Okay. See, it's laugh at yourself. Lighten up a little bit. When you catch yourself really in the bottom of the hole, like still trying to keep on track, but because I'm in storming and cyclone, I'm all over the place, but I'm finding my grounding. And I think it's because I'm meeting you at a place of procrastination or active doing, and I'm helping you try to be okay with it, have a different perspective with that and lightening it up. So I'm coming through very light and bubbly and cheeky, I guess. Working with the fairies and the magical beings, they are very cheeky, but they're also very loving and wholesome. So when you're in your meditation room or a quiet space in your house, you want to set up some place that you can go to that you are activating with your vibration numerous times a day or at least daily. Twice a day would be better. So you've got your morning and your night routine in this place. And then it charges so that when you are, whatever you're in, you can go into it and it's holding this vibration that matches you and these different times that you've been into it. And each time you've been into it, you've gone the full cycle of being meeting you where you're at, but you've also come through a noticing it, exploring it, and then resonating with the change. One, two, three, notice, explore, and resonate the change. So it's gone through a process of balancing you out. So that vibration is going into yours, if you just say sacred space. It could just be a chair and you need to get there, a blanket, anything that homes you, literally, that you can just go to. And within that space, you're automatically just loved. You're automatically just hugged, like my team holding me. They're sort of settled back now and they're like, I think she's not going to lose the plot. I think she's going to stay in her body. So um just love yourself, give yourself a break, interrupt the ongoing action of busyness or avoidance. And then once you label it, whatever you label it, then you can come back into a broader perspective. And because you're changing, you're clearing and you're resetting and you're tidying up your platforms for this new piece of information that's about to come through. You're opening all of yourself out. You're learning your body, you're learning your breath, you're talking with your mind, you're e- communicating with your life lights, your chakra systems, you're just everything about you. You're embodying you and all of your beautiful creative self. And you're loving that. You're recognizing your team, your energies, the beings, the support network that you have that is inbuilt in you that are here to care. And then it's more embodiment. You're not needing to look outside or to navigate from or blame someone else or create another storyline, which is not necessary, but it's so easy to do because we're shedding. So we grasp on so we don't lose and fall deep into the pit. But when you're in the bottom of the pit, you can make the pit really nice. You can build it up with comfort and warmth. And as you build it up, you get higher to the top and then you can just step out. There's just so much you can do with your team, with the energies, with frequency, with visualizations. Anyway, this is just a chat about how you can lighten your life and be okay in the storyline that you're running to then interrupt it and see an alternate perspective and trust in you, trust in yourself and your energies. So I hope my humor and my lightness has brought you some lightness to your life. I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe below. I'll talk to you later. Bye.